Okay, and final question for today is, it took me a long time to realize that I'm an INFP. Even though I know these functions are mine for sure, my adult function is not as developed as most INFPs are. I guess what I'm asking is, how can I develop this part of me in a more healthy level? So with an INFP, the adult function, the adult self function that we're talking about is inward feeling, which of course we call the ethicist. Now, I'd like to ask you about how much of yourself do you know, as in, are there situations where you really know that, yes, this is me, this feels right for me? And if you can find some of those situations, then really embrace those situations, get yourself into those situations often and see how you feel, and really acknowledge how you're feeling, because that might give you an opportunity to recognize in other situations where you get the same feeling and you go like, oh yeah, no, that's what it feels like when it's right for me. Now the other thing is, I'd like to ask you to identify if there's any like past behavior, from people around you, maybe in your childhood, where you were taught to constantly doubt yourself. So is there any part of you, did you have a parent or a person in a perceived position of power, like a teacher or a mentor or something, who taught you that you should always check in with them? Did you have any enmeshment in your parenting? Were you taught to doubt yourself constantly? And if that is the case, then it's very understandable that you might be doubting yourself constantly. If not, you might have actually had a person who's very authoritarian, who always told you exactly how it's going to be, so you never learned to wonder or, use your thinking faculties, your critical thinking faculties, to make your own decision. And that's something that might be going on. And if that's what's going on, it's completely understandable that you don't recognize your authentic, your authentic life experience, your ethicist, your inner ethicist as an inner adult self. So those are the kinds of things where I would start from. And you were asking, I guess what I'm asking is, how can I develop this part of me in a more healthy level? Firstly, by just acknowledging when you can actually feel it. So if there are times that you know, hey, this is right for me, or this is wrong for me, then that is the starting point. Just feeling, how does it feel in your body? Where in your body are you feeling it? Does it feel, light or heavy, or does it feel like you're really certain, or does it feel like you're having like a sense of expansion, or what does it feel like? The second thing would be, get a mentor. Get a mentor, preferably an INFP mentor who can really teach you this, or an INFP mentor who can really teach you what it looks like to have that sense of what's actually right for you. But my question to you is, on a short term, who or what taught you not to trust yourself? It could be social, it could be like if you're into minorities, or if you're in, there's a lot of, it's George Floyd's funeral today. So it could be a question of race. Who taught you that you're wrong? And we'll start with that. And let us know if you need help, further help with that. Okay, thanks everyone for your questions today. It's been a privilege answering these questions, and I am excited to hear back from you and start these conversations, because these sessions are really to start conversations and start our own experience and our own kind of building our own skill set or our tool shed for navigating through life in a way that gives us a purposeful and meaningful life. So thank you everyone who joined in live. Good to see you. And for those of you who are checking this video on afterwards, thank you for checking it up, and we'll talk again next week. You look after yourself, stay safe, and know that this too shall pass. and let's make a difference.